This next recording takes us back to 1939 and was part of a KROC-AM radio program sponsored by the Rochester Kiwanis Club. The program was a mock tour of the city hosted by KROC announcers Dwight Merriam and Erwin Breezy. Notice the mention of many current-day Rochester landmarks and some that have been lost to the ages, like the Mayo Park Zoo and Central High School.
Well, that certainly was a fine meeting, Dr. Prickman.
Since you're a guest in Rochester, Mr. Merriam, I'm sure you'll enjoy this tour much more if you go with Dr. Prickman and myself in the pilot car.
Thank you. I'll be happy to.
I'll get in first if Dr. Prickman doesn't mind and do the driving. You see, I've ridden with Doctor before when he was driving.
Well, that means the middle for me, I suppose.
Shall we start for Soldiers Field first, Dr. Prickman?
Yes, that's the first place I had on my list for the tour, Erwin.
Then here we go.
You know, from the little I've seen of Rochester in the short time I've been here, you certainly have a model city, like a miniature New York.
Well, it is almost, and in the summer months particularly, it seems like even more of a melting pot of all the nations. Driving around one block, you may find cars not only from every state in the Union, but from the Philippines, Australia, South America, Cuba, Mexico, Canada, and other countries as well.
There's a car with an Hawaiian plate right now, just turning into Soldiers Field ahead of us.
Well, I see you have quite a golf course here.
There are also 2 ball fields and a central stadium for football and track.
Say, that's quite a large plane flying overhead there.
Yes, our airport is just over the hill there, about a half a mile.
Are we driving out there?
Oh, no. We'll just circle by the Reed Murdoch canning plant, a short distance north of the airport, and then circle back.
Since this is a great farming section, as I understand it, I suppose the Reed Murdoch plant cans mostly corn and vegetables.
Corn and peas. As a matter of fact, it's the largest cannery of its kind in the world.
Well, just another reason Rochester should be proud. I bet you have great county fairs in this part of the country.
Yeah, and they're really colorful exhibits. There's our county fairgrounds to our right, a half mile or so over there. Incidentally, Minnesota's first fair was held in Rochester in 1866.
Say, why don't we have a little music while we're driving around?
I've been wondering how long you'd wait to show us your new radio.
Do you happen to have a radio station in Rochester?
Yes, and a very fine radio station, too. KROC.
Purely a local station, I suppose.
Oh, no, not at all. KROC is affiliated with both the red and the blue networks of the National Broadcasting Company.
Can I see that list just a minute, Dr. Prickman?
Surely. The Mayo Civic Auditorium is next, I think. It cost approximately $450,000 and has 2 distinct divisions. A theater, seating around 1,500, and an arena capable of seating an audience of approximately 6,000. The arena itself has the latest equipment. In fact, an ice show can be held in the afternoon, and the same floor can be used for a dance dance at night, or vice versa.
Well, the theater part interests me most. Is the stage easily adaptable to the traveling Broadway shows?
Very much so. It was built with that in mind.
It was the gift to the city from the Mayo Properties Association. Over there, you can see the Mayo Civic Auditorium.
Well, it's certainly a most striking and beautiful building. Do you have concerts in the band shell over there?
The Rochester Symphony Orchestra of 40 pieces gives outdoor concerts every Thursday and Sunday evening in the summertime, and many thousands of people attend each concert.
Rochester people really enjoy good music.
Well, that's one fact about which there can be no argument.
I notice you have plenty of amusement for the children here at Mayo Park with the games and the zoo. Let's see, I can see bears and monkeys from here.
Oh, yeah, and over there there's some buffalo and deer and raccoons, and I believe an alligator or 2. Yeah, I wish we had time to drive out to Silver Lake, but I'm afraid we can't make it. Silver Lake is just at the north end of the city and is one of the state's most beautiful artificial lakes. We hold many fairs and exhibits out there, water carnivals, 4th of July fireworks, and the like.
Shall I head for the business section now, Dr. Prickman?
Yes, I think you'd better. I'm rather sorry this isn't a night drive, Mr. Merriam, since we have such an excellent lighting system in Rochester.
And here we are downtown. Mr. Merriam, notice the broad streets we have in Rochester. That's one thing you don't find everywhere.
I have noticed the broad streets here, Mr. Breezy, and I've also noticed how clean your city is.
Well, on behalf of the city of Rochester, we thank you, Mr. Merriam. Now to our right over there is the Colonial Hospital.
Quite a large hospital, too. How many hospitals do you have here?
Well, the Colonial is not the largest hospital. We have 6 altogether, with a total of 1,600 beds. And St. Mary's Hospital is adding a large section containing 200 more beds.
There's also a large and a very beautiful state hospital located a short distance east of the city. And over there is the Kaler Hotel, our largest and our most beautiful hotel.
Now here's our high school with the junior high just a short distance beyond. We also have a junior college and 7 other school buildings. Incidentally, the high school has such a fine course in English that it is noted throughout the state.
Well, that is something to cheer about, Mr. Breezy, because after all, if a city does not have the better type of educational facilities, it really can't be called a complete city.
Yeah. You notice as we drive along the large number of rooming and boarding houses on every street. Now we're getting into the residential section, and as we drive farther west, you'll see some really beautiful estates.
I heard long before I came here about Rochester's fame as a city of beautiful homes. But now what I'm interested in is St. Mary's Hospital. Where is it located?
We're just coming to it now.
Oh, yes, I see it. My, that's even larger than the others, isn't it?
Oh, yes, quite a bit larger. It's operated by the Order of Franciscan Nuns and is an outgrowth of the tornado in Rochester in 1883. And that was also the beginning of the Mayo Clinic.
This is what is facetiously known as Pill Hill due to the fact that so many doctors have their homes here.
Not bad, Mr. Breezy. My, this is beautiful up here. You know, it makes me think that I'm in a much bigger city.
I only wish we had time to show you more of it.
So do I. But I'm rather anxious to get a look at the Mayo Clinic. I've just been able to get a glimpse of the top of the building as we've been driving around. Tell me, just how tall is the clinic?
18 stories. In the tower part, there is a carillon of 23 beautifully toned bells, a gift of Dr. William James Mayo and the late Dr. Charles Horace Mayo.
We have physicians on the staff not only from every state in the Union, but also from many foreign countries, most of them outstanding men in their chosen specialties. Even some of the nurses in the hospitals come from such far-off places as Australia, New Zealand, and Norway.
There's the Mayo Clinic just ahead of us, Mr. Marion.
And what a stunning building it is. Much larger than we expect to see when we plan to come to Rochester for the first time.
And that brings us to the end of our tour through the city of Rochester. We hope you've enjoyed this brief trip, Mr. Marion, and that you've liked Rochester well enough to want to come again.
All right, things have changed a little bit. KROC-AM's Monday Morning Memories.